but it's essential to give information to others or guests. कारण काही मुलांमध्ये तो वाक्य पाठ झालेले ऑफकोर्स कारण रिपीटेशन होणार ना. So sir, this AISSMSCOE started in 1992 under the umbrella of AISSMS Society, and which is established 100 years back by His Highness Excellency Srimad Shaul Maharaj of Kolhapur. And in AISSMSCOE we are running various UG PG programs, chemical, civil, computer, electrical, electronics, telecommunication, mechanical, and I was sharing with you, we have two special programs, industry-oriented programs, mechanical sandwich and production sandwich, where the students are getting opportunity to work in industry for 1 year. So that's why I was requesting you, we can think about our students as an intern, because they are with you for 1 year, not for, and recently our university has introduced internship mandated for all third-year students, but that is for 4 to 6 weeks, just to have a look of the industry, how industry looks, or what is the culture of the industry. But this sandwich, we have PG programs also in all disciplines, and we have 5 research programs: civil engineering, chemical engineering, computer engineering, mechanical and electrical. So using PG and PhD we are having, and this because of which we have very good research culture, and of course students, faculty, they are doing fantastic in research, in academics. As far as academics is concerned, every year our students are placed in the university rank list, and that is because of the effort of the students, contribution of the faculty, staff, and of course support of management. Nowadays this teaching learning is not sufficient, because industry is looking different in this different aspects for the students. So we have very strong co-curricular and extracurricular platforms. This is one of the platforms. This engineering today, every year we celebrate this ET for 3 days. There are around 22 different events. All 8 departments are jointly organizing these various events, and this time we have kept this hybrid mode, because last 2 years it was totally online. So many students miss the real flavor of physical competitions, and because of this hybrid, in some of the events, just to mention, we got international entry also. I got the list of 4 countries. Just given Germany, Florida, Russia, US, and England. There are online entries from these countries. That is the beauty of online. And of course, from India, there are entries from Kerala, Bhopal, Gujarat, Rajasthan, UP, Chhattisgarh, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and of course Maharashtra. I really appreciate and congratulate all the student coordinators, faculty coordinators. A big round of applause for them, because they have taken a lot of efforts. They are working day and night. Day before yesterday, just I'll share that incident. Some of the girl students, some boy students, they were preparing for the inauguration function, this decoration and all this. They were taken permission from me. Sir, we will stay here up to 10 o'clock. Normally we will not allow the girls after 7. But Mavle sir told, sir, I will be there with them. I will take care of that. On that basis we are permitted. But around 9:15, 9:30, heavy rain started. It was so heavy. So he called me, sir, this is the situation, what we can do. I told him, you can try for Uber, Ola, etc. But that was also very difficult. And some of the students have taken risk and they gone and they brought some snacks for them. And they were here entire night. काही 10-15 मुली होत्या, 10 मुलं होते. एक सेमिनारमध्ये मुली, एका सेमिनारमध्ये आणि खुर्ची टाकून दिवस रात्रभर बसले. I really appreciate Mr. Mavade. He has taken this type of efforts students are taking, and I really congratulate to them. त्यातल्या काही मुलींना काल विचारलं तर ते म्हणजे सर्व एन्जॉय lot. And they invited me next year, sir. After next year, बारिश आनी चाहिए ना. Okay, just I was mentioning how the students are taking lots of, and this type of platforms are really providing opportunity to the students to showcase their skill and potential, and they learn lot from the students coming from other colleges, other states, other areas. They interact with each other, they understand the culture and all. So it's an exchange of ideas and culture and all, and it helps to improve them. So for overall development of, you can say holistic development of the students, this type of activities are very, very essential and important. We have a number of student chapters. Just I was sharing with you, we have SE chapter under which we have 4 or 5 different activities. SE Baha, you know very well about Baha, Supra, BP cycle, Garudashwar, drone club, EMGC students, they have drone club, Robo club, film club, chemical have their different club, computer have a different club, and the beauty of this platform, students are getting not only practical knowledge or some inputs, but some students got better opportunity. One example is one of the girl students from that Google club or something, or DSC club from computer, she got package of 45 lakh in Amazon, exclusive because of that. She told me, sir, because of this club I got the opportunity. So that's why we promoting and we're supporting. Thanks to Secretary, Honorable Maludre Chakraborty, our Joint Secretary, Sundesh sir, Treasurer Patil sir, they are not only morally supporting, but they are supporting financially also. For this team, we are giving more than 20 to 25 lakhs as a funding, and they are also bringing the sponsorship from companies like yours and others. So I really appreciate all those students. And this second day event, that is the prize distribution, coming to this prize distribution. Again, I have mentioned, I appreciate and congratulate everyone participating in this year. Congratulations to all the students participated online, offline, and they part of this our event. Sir, again, we have NSS very strong team, and under which it's not only we are going for a period of 10 days. Because NSS means there is a camp for once in a year for 10 days. Go there, stay there, do something and come back. That is the normal one. But here our students or our NSS team, they are working throughout the year. During pandemic, they have done a lot of work, lot of activities. And even under Unnat Bharat Abhiyan of MHRD, we have adopted 5 villages. And we are providing the technical solutions to the problems of the villages. Recently, in one of the villages, Kalyan, there's a leakage of water problem in a dam. The big dam is there, a lot of rainfall is taking place, but the water remains hardly for 2 months because of leakages. So that problem is identified by our civil engineering department under the leadership of Dr. Nangre sir and civil students, and they have prepared a proposal of around 25 lakh or 30 lakh approximately, and Government of Maharashtra sanctioned that, and they are going to be that as a pilot project. Because of this political change, we are working for. So what I mean to say that we are not only our students are not only attending pyramid practicals, but they are going outside on the field also, and they are contributing throughout the year. And thanks to the sponsors, various sponsors are sponsoring this such type of events continuously. They are doing the moral boost to the students, and this also teaches to the students how to interact, how to get the money. बऱ्याच वेळा विद्यार्थ्यांना 10 रुपये द्या म्हटलं तरी सर्वस्वी देत नाही. But they are bringing 50,000, 25,000. That is a skill. So you have to showcase the activity, you have to showcase your skill and get the sponsorship and all. So this type of learning students are getting through this type of platforms. So I think I should stop here because we have to listen to you and students are waiting to get their prizes. So once again congratulate all the students, all the student coordinators, faculty coordinators, heads of departments, and I special thanks GST. Yeah, that is one of the what we call the Hatke structure we are having. GST from every department we have one general secretary and joint GS. GS from B and joint GS from T. So you will get 1 year training. He or she will. And they are coordinating entire events throughout the year, not only this event, because we have Shivanjali, February we conduct 2 days cultural event, then AISSMS, sports events, inter-department activities, or if any committee is coming, all are ready every time. So I appreciate GS also. I thank all the sponsors. It's very difficult for me to take the names, I don't have list with me right now. So thank you all the sponsors and thank you.
Thank you so for your profound words. Now I would like to call upon Ms. Vaishnavi to please introduce our guest, Mr. Milind Kulkarni, Director, Product Engineering, AAM India, Manufacturing Corporation Private Limited.
Namaskar. It's an honor to introduce our chief guest, Shri Milind Kulkarni sir, Director, Product Engineering, AIM India, Manufacturing Corporation Private Limited. Sir has 22 years of automotive domain experience in product design, new business development, program management, and handling large teams for global business engineering shared service. He is currently leading team of 100+ engineers for global auto MNC with diverse portfolio of product development, new business acquisition, and providing engineering services. Proven track record of leading team for product development, engineering change management, and cost reduction program from concept of production enabling business growth. Milind sir is DFSS Green Belt certified practitioner for robust product design for powertrain domain, EV powertrain. Accomplishments to his credit are active member in many CR activities like tree plantation, blood donation, technical workshops, seminars to academic institutes, association with Helpage India NGO, Seva Sayogi NGO for Children, and active member of SAE AWIM initiative. Launched online idea generation tool for fostering collaborative innovation, received ETON CTO's recognition, and has been extensively used across organization by different product teams. Before handing over the dais to Kulkarni sir, I would like to say some few words about our college. कभी हम गुलों की तरह महक से उड़ते हैं, कभी हम गुलों की तरह महक से उड़ते हैं, कभी धुओं की तरह पर्वतों से उड़ते हैं। ये केचिया हमें उड़ने से क्या खाक रोकेगी, ये केचिया हमें उड़ने से क्या खाक रोकेगी, हम AISSMS वाले परों से नहीं हौसलों से उड़ते हैं। Thank you so much. Thank you sir.
Hello.
Hello. Am I audible? No? Good afternoon. Am I audible? Yes. So first of all, I would like to thank management for inviting me for this very exciting program today. Thank you, Governor sir, sir, and the kind of energy that I saw in the room today, that's really amazing. And I just took me back to my college days. Incidentally, I was there in one of our alumni program 2 weeks back. I was there with our professors who were now retired. So, what I'm going to cover today is some glimpse of what my career is, and also some thoughts about what is happening in the technology movement, and also some of the insights of my own reflection of journey. This is my own thought process, and some of the thoughts from the visionary leaders. So, I remember one of the offsite that we had in my previous organization, which was about play to win. Okay, and that's the theme that I choose today. Next slide. So, what's the engineer's game? When we start any engineering subject, and I'm sure most of you will agree here, while there are various, I would say, roles in any industry, one of the most fascinating, most sought after profession that I have seen is design. So, while the design is, I would say, the second phase, the first phase is ideation, then the design, then validation, and the commercialization. Over my 20 years of experience, I have seen that to be a good designer, one needs to have knowledge about all the aspects of the development. Because we cannot design something which cannot be manufactured. We cannot design something which cannot be sold. And I can tell you, based on my last, I would say, 14 years of experience being in a Tier 1 company, I have seen designs were fabulous, but because we were not able to commercialize, those designs were there in the computer files. We have to be, specifically in Indian context, we have to have design which can be competitive. I have seen both the worlds. I was working with Mahindra, I'll talk about that in the next slide on about my career journey. He has introduced, but maybe some more specifics. So, I had worked with major companies there. I started my career with Mahindra's tractor, design tractors for various applications. And I was very lucky, I would say, because when we work in an organization, sometimes it depends on which team you are put into. I was responsible for design of the industry first in Mahindra that time, a tractor with automatic transmission. So this is the time where around 2004-05, we were working on a project for the export where we had to go for an automatic transmission. Now this automatic transmission is different than a car transmission. This was hydrostatic transmission. and has to be designed in the same envelope. I'm very glad that that product was launched. Obviously, I wasn't there to see it because I had to move on because of family reasons. But the beauty of going through the concept, there is the drawing boards, to up to almost pre-production was very fascinating. Then I work with Eaton Corporation, which is in Pune again, very big company in terms of their legacy, 100 years old company. I was responsible for hydraulic design. That was various domains, ag domain, then construction equipment. So basically designing systems, the pumps, the valves and the actuators. And last 9 years I'm working with a company called American Axles, prominently into, quickly I'll talk about the company I was sharing with Dr. Gurmani sir, that this is a global MNC headquartered in Detroit, prominently working with the powertrain. So we say we are delivering power. In India we have got 3 factories, and we deal in India with the the truck segment. So basically started by journey in truck, now into the tractor, now into the truck group. We work with various global customers. In US, we have major focus on the passenger applications, SUVs. There are customers. I'll just keep some of the slide because I want to focus on 2 important sides here on. So basically, evolution of the technology started with the conventional axles, but now we are heavily working on the EV powertrain. As all of you know, EV is the buzzword, and it's very exciting to have that transition. And that brings me to the important lesson that I heard it many times, that life is all about continuous learning. So I started my journey in transmissions. It was all sliding mesh transmission tractor. Then moved to constant transmission. Then moved to synchronous transmission. All that happened when I was in Mahindra, and now the world is moving to EV. So as I was saying, from a geographical location, we have got 2 factories in around Pune and 1 factory in Chennai. So what is happening now? I mean, if you look at the reflection of where the technology is going, I would sum up into 3 buckets. One obviously is convergence of all these streams. I mean, we see everything that we talk about, say or any of the design that we talk now and in future would have a convergence of all the streams. Back then when I joined industry, obviously we were thinking that mechanical is future. And last 2 years, believe me, me and my team started learning electrical engineering. Because if we have to get into an EV, we need to understand basics of motor, basics of inverter. Though we would not be designing in India, though we have a special team in US who works on the design of it. But if you have to even choose a right motor, I need to know the motor. So I think the convergence is happening, and that's the real future for us. And when we look at the industry outlook in India over the next, I would say 10 years or even next 2 decades, EV is going to be future for sure. And we will need skills, and those skills will be not only one single domain. So in my company right now in India, we have an engineering center over 100 engineers. 30% are from electronic stream. They work on software development, validation, and various other aspects of software development like quality control and requirement management. And the rest is the mechanical. And both have to converge, because even if we have a motor, we need enclosure, we don't need housings. So there is a lot of handshake happening between electronics and mechanical stream. Second, Industry 4.0. While definitely it is important to have a design outlook, when I look at our factories and I see Industry 4.0, where if you look at the digital enterprise, people talk about Industry 4.0, there is now very thin margin between design, manufacturing, production, assembly. Everything is now getting connected, and I think data is driving everything. Okay, and basically it's all about collecting, understanding and using data. I'll give a couple of examples how it is being used in automotive industry. when I was working with Mahindra, the assemblies were happening manually. Even some of the lines I still know they are manual. So the objective was to fit in the parts and then do end of line testing, no noise, ship it out. Now the Industry 4.0, where each station would have, the sensors would have all the assembly parameters, the pressing forces of the banjo, or the all the bearings, they will be recorded into the birth certificate, and the entire data live is stored onto the server. Now that information goes back to the database, wherein if there is any problem in the field, we can trace it back what was the assembly condition of that particular assembly. So there are multiple applications of Industry 4.0, but I think this aspect is really helping us in the industry to adapt the IT to the right, I would say, use in terms of improving the efficiency and also the traceability. Smart is future. We talk about smart homes, smart watch, smart phone. I think that smartness is coming from what? User. It's coming from technology, right? So I think this generation is very, I would say, fortunate that you are in the generation where data is really at the fingertips, right? And how do we use that data to the maximum use of those smart devices and technologies? I think it's really awesome. When I talk to my kid, if they want to know something, they just within seconds they just go to Google and see. That was not the liberty for us. I remember my college days, we used to be in queue for calling back our parents for home. Those were the streaming times. Sir would reflect on that. So I think it's really interesting phase in which we are, where I think technology is helping us to collaborate well, learn faster, and I think that's where we can do better work. So if we look at summarizing the current trends, obviously digital, I talked about it, high power computing. I mean, look at the size of computers, size of the phones. Now, how can that be used to make our products more effective? I'll give an example. So, when we talk about EV ecosystem, most of the companies started 10 years back in just doing retrofitment. I mean, use existing platform, remove engine, try to fit in, powertrain there. Maybe it started some, first phase, but that's definitely not effective. Because to be leader in the game, there has to be a ground-up approach. Now to do that, what we realize, that size of the powertrain has to be compact. Now that's where the high power computing is helping. So the entire e-drive system of motor and inverter has to be so compact, and that's where this high computing is really helping. Alternate energy, I think we all know it's really important. I have seen significant evolution of use of solar power, and I think how that can also help to reduce anxiety over the charging infrastructure in India. I think there's a lot of effort that is being put up by government, and I think that will really fuel EV. And obviously the alternate materials, because most important aspect which I would like you to keep in mind in various roles that you will play in future. While we would talk about high-tech concepts and new technologies, one thing is going to be always there is the lightweighting, and there is a lot of research happening, and all the tools required to do optimization, maybe the right tools of OptiStructure or other tools will really help. Because for we say that every gram of the mass that is reduced on a subsystem has direct impact to the range and efficiency. I will skip that because I have important things to talk. So when we talk about powertrain, these are the drivers, and these were drivers even a few years back, but they are becoming more and more prominent now. High power density, high efficiency, high reliability, and sensor technologies for diagnostic. So this is the heart of the work that my team works. This is a section of the drive head we call. This gives drive to the truck axle. The entire torque that is transmitted from engine, I would say, are a power source to the wheels. Now, if you look at the structure, it has got all those things that mechanical engineering stream would have seen: the bearings, the gears, the housings. Okay, they are going to be there, right? What is changing is how can those be, more efficient, where we can increase the efficiency. So basically, there are three elements that are coming very loud and clear from our customers, and that is reliability. So that will be give the same torque output with a lesser mass. How can these systems be more improved for daily wage? So that's where the research work happens, and I'll show you example. So you see here the carrier design here. Typically it goes through at least 6 to 8 iterations. Okay, and that's where the perseverance matters. We have more targets. It has to have reliability. It should have a lesser mass, and it should also have right characteristics for engagement. And that's where the iterations are important, because some iterations will have a lower mass, but will have an issue of the resonance, and that's where the elevation will be having problem. So I would say that this is extremely important to have an outlook when we do design the mass reduction. The second example is how do we remove the mass on the components. And as I was saying, the sensor part. So since we work on the commercial vehicles, the important element is how do we look at the load sensing on the axle. So we have one idea which our team is working. How do we sense the load on the axles and feed it back to the the OEMs that they can really do some control on. So that's the convention, right? So the next obviously is the EV that I was talking about. While there are different configuration possible, you can see it on Google or YouTube. If you look at different configurations of the transmission that is possible, the core transmission of differential is required for a concept where you need to have a motor and then a transmission to increase the torque. Only concept where we don't need this transmission is the wheel motors, where directly motors will be on the base. Now those definitely will be possible. So all the technologies, so even if we say that EV is going to come, the mechanical structures, the transmission is going to stay there. So there are two architectures that are being evaluated by industry. If you see that, one is the offset design. So you would have motor which is offset, and then transmission where you will give power to the wheels, or it is coaxial where you would have a more complex system, and both have got their positives and negatives, but based on the application we can choose. And there are a lot of trends in terms of optimizing the entire powertrain. A lot of research happening in the tribology in terms of improving the lubrication and tuning of the systems. Battery, as you know, I'm sure there will be some students from KVK here. A lot of work is happening, and lot more research would happen on the battery technology, and that is where there are a lot of startups that I know they are working very heavily. In terms of integration, so this is where a lot of development is happening. So what kind of integration we should have in a powertrain, 2-in-1, 3-in-1, 4-in-1. So where, how do you integrate? Like motor and inverter and DC-DC charger. So all those configurations would evolve, and that will really decide who is going to win. So to summarize, basically reliability and safety is the cornerstone. I would say that's the basic design. However, making it efficient and connected, having those new technologies and how it is being connected to those technologies is important. Well, so that was more on some glimpses of the technology. Now I will talk about my reflections on career. I'm sure with my 20 years and grey hairs, I can talk something. That is my reflection and my own way. I have seen a lot of people how they have progressed in their career, and also reflection of how I started. So, as I told you, I started my career with Mahindra, worked in transmission. I moved to Cafe way back in South because I had to focus on design. Then I came back to Mahindra again when there was an opportunity, and then worked in Eaton for hydraulics. I think if you look at these two pictures, okay, one aspect of career is to look at the pinnacle and then just go for it. That could be, I would say, gifted few who can actually think that's what I want to do, right? There are very few. For example, professionals, I mean, sports persons, they would think that this is what I want to do. Or somebody says, I want to be into one field, and they will just focus their attention, they will get into masters or do PhD. I personally believe that career can also be very profound if it can be just flowing like a river. Because as I said, I mean, when I started was obviously into more mechanical, more into tractor, but then over last, I would say 15 years, when I reflect back, it was all about flowing like a river, exploring various opportunities and technologies and keep learning. And this is where I would say we also get a lot of different exposure, knowledge, and enrich our careers. The most important aspect also that I would put some points here for you to ponder upon. One is network. There is a research which says power of 6 degrees of freedom. And that says that if you are connected to 3 degrees, the next 3 degrees will take care. And that's the whole technology or other basis on which Facebook and LinkedIn works. And do you know what is their degree of freedom to connect? It is 4.5. So you would wonder that if you want to connect to anybody in the world, and if you have a right connection in place, you can connect to that person with third or fourth network. Now that networking helps us to get a different perspective. I'll just give one example. While I focus more into the design, as you will see in my career, I have a lot of friends into manufacturing and IT. And I did my master's in business administration in IT, and it always helps me in terms of adopting the right softwares, right technologies that are required for my job. Just note down, there's a book called Fluid by Sanyal. Very excellent book. It talks about how do you define your career or how do you progress your career, and that is also like a river flow. So you cannot look at your career or your life only in one dimension. Just to give an example, he talks in that book about Mr. Steve Jobs. So he wasn't only like a technocrat, right? He also spent 6 months in India, and what he learned in India was the simplicity. And if you look at Apple design, it's one of the simplest design. Very simple design. He made Apple Dome in US for their new Apple. If you look at the architecture of that building, it is also so simple. So what the author actually says is that you need to have very good connect with different other streams. You can't be saying that I am just engineer, I will just focus on engineering. Be curious, obviously ask questions, learn. Every time we ask question, many times we know how part, but many times we don't know why part. just ask questions, be curious. Communication, I think connecting the dots is very important. Learn relevant skills. I know nowadays it's very easy for us to get the right skills with the advent of online courses. I think you can get all that, and I'm very glad to mention that the current generation is very active about that. When I look at whenever I have done interviews or I have seen the profiles, I'm very glad to mention that very well adopted the new age learning platforms, and they are really keeping themselves up to date, learning all the skills. Read, travel, unleash unknowns. We must have, and I think I can tell you one thing from my experience. When I was in Chennai for 2.5 years, I have traveled most part of the south, and I think it's important to have the diversity in companies. We nowadays encourage a lot about diversity, both in terms of gender equality and also in terms of diversity from different, I would say, fields. We do have that as a focus where we recruit students or experienced people from various parts of the India. And when I was in Chennai, I have learned that it's very important to have that diversity. And as I was saying, get different perspectives, right? It's not only about the engineering. So one of the things that I talked, I just had a couple of interviews in the morning today. One of the questions that I always ask is, what's your hobby, right? And that gives me a perspective of person, what he is of the field, right? This is very important, just to be balancing our life. You would have definitely heard from many people, many philosophers or many successful people that we need to read. We need to read a lot. Nowadays it is difficult with mobile I/O. It's easy for us to look at a quick video on YouTube. I'm not saying that we should not, because I also do see it, but I think it's very important to read. And it gives us a very great sense of satisfaction when we learn something on our own. Some of my top picks that I have listed here, it really gives you different perspective. Okay, I will just name few here which are my all-time favorite. One is Alchemist, a wonderful book. It really helps you to look inside, and everything is with you. Right? And I like Outliers. Now that is something I want you all to really listen carefully. The author says, in one of the chapters says about the 10,000 hours rule. So for somebody to be successful, we need that consistent 10,000 hours of efforts, dedication and constant work. I'll give some examples cited in the book. The great musicians, the great sports personalities, you name anybody, they have used that 10,000 hours. Now we know why Sachin Tendulkar is so perfect, because he spent that 10,000 hours of his early career on the field, right? That age, obviously, all of us would have done something different, right? I also was inspired by the effort that P.V. Sindhu has taken and her father, starting at 3 o'clock in the morning, where obviously the world sleeps, or at least India will sleep, and getting to the practice, right? So I think it's very important. I really like that book, and why I'm saying it is important, that nowadays there is a trend. We have seen that some of the students who get into a job, nowadays we have seen a lot of fluctuation in job rotations. Well, it is important for us to have monetary gains, but I think to get that 10,000 rule, we need to be consistent and follow, learn the trade of the game being more consistent with one company. Well, I am not saying we should not ship, but I think that's very essential that we need to dedicate our first, I would say, 5 to 10 years to really get, as I always call, trade of the game. Well, there are many, actually I listed few of them. I do read a lot. Just to summarize, during my reading, obviously I have read many good personalities of world and India. I was amazed by personality Dr. late APJ Kalam. And one of the interview he talked about what is the mantra for success. And he made 4 points. And I think that summarizes what I said in my previous maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes talk. Have a great aim. Continuously acquire knowledge. Hard work. There is no replacement for hard work. And perseverance. I think perseverance is something very, very important. I will give my personal example. Last year, we worked on one concept. As I said, automotive world is very, very fiercely competitive. We made a new design, we put it to customer, we lost the business. And the margin was very, very small actually. And the team was demoralized. I said, no, we can look back into the design and work with the team. We came back, we reduced the cost, and we got the business start of this year. I think it's very important in every aspect of our life. If you have the perseverance, it pays, and you definitely would have your own success stories heard from your parents or colleagues, and you can just reflect on it. And I like the quote that Dr. Kalam had said, if you want to shine like the sun, first burn like the sun. That means again hard work, right? That's all from me today. Thank you for inviting me. Just want to mention that I congratulate all the winners who won in various aspects of the engineers today, and also so there are only two categories: winners or learners. Those who are not won, they have done definitely through the winning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. That was really informative session. I guess most of our audience have took notes about it. Moving further, I would like to request our guest, Mr. Milind Kulkarni, sir, to please felicitate the sponsors. Mr. Yogesh Borse, IBS Pune. Mr. Akhilesh Bhosle, Sparkle Enterprise, Pune. Mr. Mangesh Sheke, Autosol EV, Pune. Thank you, sir. Now moving further to the most awaited moment, prize distribution ceremony. Yes, but I would just like to say a few points. Everyone is going to receive certificates over here. Your gift vouchers are outside on the outside desk. Everyone is requested to be seated till full program, and after the program, you could collect your gift cards. Till then, please maintain silence and enjoy the program. And also maintain silence. Because if you are not silent, you won't hear who won and who not. Okay. Starting from chemical department. Okay. I would like to request Mr. Milind Kulkarni sir to please felicitate the winners. War of Titans, Om Adav, Shivam Rathod and Aditya Jarad. First prize goes to Om Adav. Second prize goes to Shivam Rathod and Aditya Jarad. Poster presentation. First prize goes to Tanvi Naik and second prize goes to Sankalp Gaikwad. Box cricket. First prize goes to Lions and second prize goes to Taware Titans. Taware Titans. If the participants are not available, I request PS to collect their certificates. The winners who are absent, I request the GS and JGS of respective department to receive their certificates. I am repeating the winners of box cricket again. First prize to Lions and second prize to Taware Titans. Taware Titans.
Now the next department is civil. First event is Plesiophile and the first prize goes to Yash Bahadur. And the second prize goes to Samit Kumbalkar. The next event is Float the Boat. First prize goes to Nitin Chakor. Second prize goes to Abhay Mane and team, Janathan and team.
Guys, please appreciate them. तालियों की आवाज ही नहीं आ रही है.
Second prize for Float the Boat is Abhay Mane and team, Janathan and team. The next event is Built It Overnight and the first prize goes to Hari Om and team. Second prize goes to Sagar and team.
The next department is Computer Department. Clash Royale, first prize goes to Tushar Sharma and second prize goes to Venkatesh Soni. Second event, Overtime Assist. First prize goes to Shubhankar Hibarne and second prize goes to Ashish Emmanuel. Third event, Anime Astra. First prize goes to Anushka Sanford and second prize goes to Adil Sheikh. The fourth event, Cycling Scavengers. First prize goes to Siddhi Nasri and second prize goes to Aman Masuri.
Now the next department is ANTC. The prize is for event Robo Soccer. First prize goes to Jaguar 4. Second prize goes to Jaguar 2. Prize is for event Robo Wrestling. First winner is the Dhruv. And second prize also goes to the same team, the Dhruv. The next event is Comic Con. First prize goes to Vishal Pandey and Utkarsh Sarekar. Second prize goes to Shyam Krishna Nair.
Next department is Electrical Department. Event License to Kill the Laser War. First prize goes to Arjun Tanar and second prize goes to Jayesh Bhosle. It's a team event. First prize goes to Arjun Tanar and team and second prize goes to Jayesh Bhosle and team. Next event, Parachute Panic. First prize goes to Sanvi Poti and team and second prize goes to Advait Mahadik and team. Next event, Hunt of Excellence. First prize goes to Atharva Thorat and team, and second prize goes to Aniket Kinkar and team.
The next department is mechanical. First event is robo race and the first prize goes to Jaguar 1. Second prize goes to Siddharth Saeed. The next event is Quiz Masters. First prize goes to Mohit Rane. And second prize goes to Mangesh Thakre. Third event is Dardo Mania. And first prize goes to Dheeraj Shinde. And second prize goes to Raghvardhan Bagh.
The next department is Production Engineering. Name of event, mock play sprint. The first prize goes to Varun Pudriyan and second prize goes to Balraj Wagmare. Next event, technical poster presentation. Event, technical poster presentation. First prize goes to Aslesha Zadav and second prize goes to Arman Mulani. Moving on to the most awaited prizes. And here comes the third moment. I request our guest, Mr. Milind Kulkarni sir, to please unveil the prizes. Here is the most awaited and most valuable list of today's program. First prize, Best Sponsorship Award, and it goes to Sharvari Maske, Best Sponsorship Award, Faculty, and it goes to Professor L.P. Mave.
The next award is Best Sponsorship for department. And this is none other than ENTC department! Industrial event, and it goes to License to Kill the Laser War. The next award, Best ET Coordinator, AISSMS ET 2022. And it goes to Professor Vidya Deshmukh ma'am. And the moment for the most awaited award. Everyone, hold your hearts tight. Any guesses? And it goes to ENTC.
please settle down fast? Moving further to the end of the event, here I present the vote of thanks. It is an indeed matter of pride for me to present the vote of thanks after such a wonderful session. So I, Shruti, on behalf of AISSMS College of Engineering, Pune, would like my sincere gratitude to Honorary Secretary Shri Madhavya Chitrapati, Joint General Secretary Shri Suresh Shinde Sir, Governing Council and Management Committee members of AISSMS Society for always supporting us and providing us opportunity and freedom to conduct such informative sessions. I would like to thank Mr. Milind Kulkarni Sir for providing us for such an informative session and spending valuable time with us. Thank you, sir. I extend my gratitude to Honorable Principal Dr. D.S. Burmani Sir for providing us such a lively environment, thus providing us with opportunities to grow. I would like to thank Professor N.P. Mawar Sir for constantly guiding us through all difficulties. I would like to thank our sponsors, our main sponsors, IMFS, ITM, Business School, IBS, Krushi Kanchan and Bank of Baroda. Our technical sponsors, Association of India, SAE India, IEEE, SESI, ICHE, ISDE, Infinity Infrastructures, Indian Water Works Association, National Service Scheme, Builders Association of India, IETE, the Institution of Engineers. I would like to thank HODs of all the department, technical and non-technical staff of departments for their cheerful participation for constantly being with us. Lastly, I would like to thank all the volunteers and all the members who have worked really hard to make this event successful. Thank you very much.